right, my peeps, we are back. You know, you got off the cuff. Your host here, Big Jefe, a.k.a. Broman, and of course, you're truly Ulika. Now, we left off with Broman trying to cut me off after he spoke for 45 minutes, okay, about his adventures in the eighth grade. Now, I
I
was
still
just
don't
leading
think
into
it
the
that
ninth
long.
grade. Now, bro, hold on. Let me say my piece.
Mm,
So
mm.
yes, so I just came back from Cape Verde. I was actually stranded at the airport because the flights from Cape Verde that are direct, they only go from Cape Verde to Boston. My dad was a diplomat and he had important meetings to be. I believe he went off to Jamaica or some shit. And so I had no one waiting for me at the airport.
And
My
that's
mom
when they didn't even have Ubers.
is in New York. I had a
Yeah.
cousin, my cousin Toy, Toy Pinto.
Oh, toy. Yes.
Yes, he was on the
Yeah.
same flight, but it's like he had another flight to catch or he had somewhere to be real quick and he took off.
Right.
Well, I made the best of it. Like I always say, life gives you lemons, add bourbon to it. So I made the best of it. I got on the phone. I called my buddy Marcelo's house. I spoke with his stepdad, his dad Jerry. We spoke for hours. I used to make collect calls all the time. I spoke with my mom and everything else, and she was all nervous. I was like, "Ah, mom, I'm all right. Don't worry about it. If I have to sleep here, that's all good." You know. Eventually, dad will show up. You know, and uh, in the meantime, after I spoke with my mom, she was out busy trying to make phone calls. She called my aunt, Tia Teresa. I call her Tia Teja, who lived in Rhode Island, which is only about an hour and 10 minutes away at the airport. Meantime, I'm nonchalant about it. It's no big deal. It's actually very exciting. And then all of a sudden, I see my aunt pass by. I was like, "Hey, Tia, how are you?" I didn't realize that she was there for me. I thought she was traveling somewhere. you know. So
So
she
you just
took me to her
encountered her
house. I
like
stayed there for a week, and then my dad shows up to pick me up on a weekend, and we go home.
that.
Of course, a day or so later was time for me to go to school. Now, mind you,
Hmm.
I always went to a school where I knew everyone. I didn't know anyone at Richard R. Green High School of Teaching. Um,
Right.
the only people that I knew at that school were two girls that went to that school with me that were part of my eighth
Wow.
grade class. Joanne Pace and
Oh
um,
yes, I remember Joanne.
Rolanda. Rolanda
Uh-huh.
Frazier
I remember
was
her
her
too.
last name.
Hmm.
Yeah. But they had. I think during the summer there were some get-togethers or whatever, so people had a chance to meet each other and stuff like that. I didn't know anyone. In fact, my very first day of school, my name wasn't even on the roster, and it wasn't on the roster because of Erica de Jesus. See, Erica,
Hmm.
you would figure that her name would be spelled Erica, right? No, no, not Erica.
Hmm.
Erica's got to be
I see it.
difficult. It was ERYCKA and then DE and then Jesus, right? And my name is
Hmm.
spelled ULIKA, Jesus, and
Yep.
they thought that we were one and the same. So they just crossed out my name and left hers. It was actually that dude Joe, great guy. He's been to Angola. He knows some history. He
Oh,
says that
the
we
teacher.
have a bond because he used to be a merchant mariner. Yeah, you remember Joe, the teacher at the time.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was on our freshman year. He was assistant principal, and he used to
yeah.
teach world history, social studies, stuff like that.
Joe was cool, man. I like Joe.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was like,
Well, he
he
used
was
to
kind of like
say that
Robert De
we
Niro.
had. Yeah, he used to say that we had a bond, an unknowing
Mhm.
bond, because he was a merchant mariner and
Mhm.
his what was it that he got removed? I think it was his gallbladder or
Mhm.
something, or his spleen or something like that was removed, um, or pancreas, something he said got removed in Luanda,
Mhm.
Angola. That's where I was born.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Angola.
So, he took a notice to me because of that bond that he said that we had. And
Nice.
he was a great teacher. I used to enjoy his classes.
Yeah, yeah. He was really good.
One of the few
And I liked a
classes that
lot of the I
yeah, it
like
was one of the
Don
few
and
classes.
Joe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don was
Mhm.
also very good.
Their
And I'd say
styles of
that
teaching
they
were
are
awesome.
more so good public speakers than they are teachers.
Right, right. That's
But
true.
they teach well because
And
they're
they
good
held
public
your
speakers. And
attention. Yeah.
yes, they captured your attention. Now, so
Right.
that's how
That's
I
a good
got
word.
placed into Leslie's family group, was because Joe had figured out the similarities of the names. So he said, well, I'm just going to go ahead
Uh,
and put you in this family group. That's how I ended up in Leslie's family group.
wow.
And that's
So
why I was the one coming in late, because they had to figure out who the hell I was.
I wonder if we would have met if he hadn't done that.
I believe in karma, bro. And the world takes turns and shit in a specific way. If we didn't meet at Leslie's family group, we would have met on the hallway somewhere.
Not true.
If it
Yeah.
wasn't in the hallway, perhaps maybe my locker would have been right next to your locker. In fact, it was, wasn't it?
I don't know. I think I might have been next to Vidal. Vidal, I don't fight on
Vidal.
Tuesdays.
Yeah.
What
What
day
day
is
is today?
today?
Tuesday. I don't fight on Tuesdays.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
I've been trying
Cool
to
guy,
find
man.
him, bro.
He had a tough break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to
about
find
him?
him a few years back too.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. I know about Kenny.
I did ask his best friend about him. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
ask Kenny
Kenny.
about
Yeah.
him. I don't think he said anything. I think he went back
To India
to
or to
no, it's not India.
where was he
I
from?
think they were from Trinidad or something, right?
Oh,
I think
okay.
they were
No
from
wonder.
Trinidad.
Yeah, he was hilarious,
Mhm.
bro. He was funny.
He was. But he had a bad break in high school. Both his parents died and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he still kept up. He still came to school. He still did his
Yeah.
thing. I believe he was taking care of his younger sister at the time.
And he was still a good dude.
I think he had two siblings, and he was still a good dude. He
Yeah,
didn't
man.
resort to drugs and all this other kinds
Nothing.
of stuff.
No fighting, nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The funny thing about Vidal, bro, is I remember having a conversation with him where he said he's going to get a specific type of car. I think it was a Nissan something or other, and he was going to paint it yellow. And I remember saying to him, "Yellow? You want your shit to look like a fucking taxi?" And here I am years later, I have a sailboat, and I was thinking to myself, now I understand the color yellow, because I wanted to paint my shit yellow. And I've always thought about that conversation that I had with Vidal.
Yeah. Interesting.
And by the way, today is Monday. I don't fight on Mondays.
So
but anyway, that's why
I gave you 10 minutes.
No, bro. It was 5 minutes to the factor of 5. Okay, that's 25 minutes total. You agreed to it. So, yeah, there you go, man. There you go. So basically,
there goes your analytical
that's
mind.
The reason why. There you go. The analytical mind. Tell me at work. So that's the reason why at Leslie's family group, I was the last one to straggle in while everyone else was already seated in the circle. Right. And so that's why I walked in and everyone was like staring at me.
That makes sense. Okay.
Because Joe
but
helped
you
me
liked that attention, didn't you?
Not
really.
I'm not going to say that I liked it. I'm not going to say that I disliked it. I didn't mind it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think that our broship actually began before sophomore year.
Yes. Yeah.
If you ask me, I will say that we started bonding more at the camping trip.
Oh yeah, remember that camping trip, bro? When what was his name?
That camping trip.
What was his name?
Kwong.
Cog.
Kwong.
Quad.
Kwong.
Kwong. Yes.
Yeah.
And what did he say?
Vietnamese. He said, with his broken English, he said, "Oh, it's cold. We put leaves. Leaves make fire. Fire make warm."
That
We
was
used
the
to joke
funniest
about
part
that for years.
I
Here
think.
we are, 40 years or 20 years later, 30 years later,
Yeah.
and we're still joking about that. No, and Ian came up with, um, "I've fallen and I can't
Yeah.
get up."
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we had a
We had a
blast. We
great
had a
time.
blast.
Great time. Great camping trip.
I remember at
Great
the
family
camping
group.
trip. Now
Hmm.
listen to this shit. Camping is something I always wanted to do. My dad was never an outdoorsy kind of guy.
Hmm.
And if I try to imagine my dad taking me camping, I imagine him in a suit and tie and a pair of boots.
And holding a business meeting
You know,
beforehand.
you know,
Yeah. You're like a take
trying to
notes.
figure out how we make fire. You know,
Right. Take notes. This is how we'll
not
build on.
knowing that Kwong had it all figured out to a science.
Mm,
Leaves make fire, fire make warm.
make it all.
Now, I had been previously in the seventh grade when I was in Catholic school.
Uh,
I did my first camping trip. It was part of like a community outreach for inner city youth type of thing um, that originated actually from Asphalt Green, right? Um, and the Fireboat House, which was right next door to Gracie Mansion, right on the East River.
where the mayor
So
lives.
I used
Yeah,
to do a
yeah,
lot of programs.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So that was my first camping trip. But that camping trip was, you know, like a touristy type of thing. You had two guides. Um, these guys started the fire. They made sure that we ate. They took us hiking, shit like that. Now, when we went camping, that was because I wanted to go camping and I kept begging Leslie if we can go camping. And I mentioned it in one of our meetings, and everyone was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, the only one in that classroom that really had any experience in camping was Bakari.
Oh, wow.
He was a Boy Scout,
Oh, okay. That
and
was
he
my
went
first
camping
time.
all
I
the time.
didn't. Okay. I didn't know
Right.
anything about
But
camping.
he couldn't make it to our camping trip because he had his own camping trip to get a couple of merit badges, and if he didn't go, he was going to miss out on his merit badges, and he was working to get Eagle Scout,
Oh,
which
okay.
is like the highest honor bestowed upon a Boy Scout.
Hmm.
Some Boy Scouts they work a lifetime up until the age of 18. That's the cutoff to get there.
Bro,
So um,
wasn't Bakari
that's
like
how we
six?
ended up.
He was more like a man than a boy. He's like 6'1",
Well,
six
I
two.
mean, he was like 6'4". I
Yeah,
don't think he was
all
six
dude.
two. I think he was like six
More?
three, 6'2", six
Damn.
three, 6'4", something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was always a tall guy.
yeah.
But I wrote a proposal
Uh-huh.
to Alan. Alan came in with the two vans that they rented.
Uh-huh.
Now we needed adults to drive these damn things, so Leslie volunteered to go. Although she was a single mom, she found someone to watch her daughter over the weekend. I don't remember the teacher's name, but he used to be um, Scott's part of Scott's staff. He was also a math teacher.
Math teacher, yeah.
Do you remember the guy?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the guy?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. He also went,
Hmm.
and a lot of the teachers actually became very enthusiastic over our little project because it was something that you know I had pushed for, and I did the proposal, and I got backing from the school, so they paid for the campsite. They paid for what was it? They paid for the vans, two van rentals. The two teachers volunteered to go with us, and I think between all of us, we had to bring the food and the drinks and stuff like that. Oh,
Hmm.
and the tents. They also purchased the tents too.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
They bought the tents for
They
us,
made it all possible
um,
for us.
and I and I think Scott had loaned the other math teachers or the two teachers like a two-person tent. So much so that we all slept together. All the boys slept in one tent, all the girls slept in the other tent,
Hmm.
and the two teachers slept together in that tent. You know, and we had a blast. We had a blast. I think we started bonding when we went hiking.
Yeah.
I had a compass and that was another thing that I was into, map reading and stuff like that. That always intrigued me. you know. So that's really where our broship started, I believe,
Yeah, I
because
think
that's
so.
where you and I actually had a chance to sit down and actually have a one-on-one and get to know each other. But I think that at that time in our freshman year, I used to hang out with Abdul Wells.
Right. I remember.
We had a couple of other things in common too. But you know, his like I said, people tend to take different directions. And the stuff that he was into wasn't the stuff that I was into. So,
Right.
you know, we stayed away from and and you and I started hanging out. You, me, and Tom started hanging out
Hmm.
in our sophomore year. You
Yeah.
and Tom were already hanging out things together, and you guys invited me to come along one day, and you know, we were just hanging out. It's like hanging out with the homeboys.
Yeah, exactly. Like that movie. But
We've had,
anyway,
yeah,
I,
we actually had a situation like that,
yeah, we
where
did. But we're
where
gonna leave. Wait, wait,
me,
hold on.
you, Devon, Harper. Hmm?
Yes, but I want to leave that for another day because that's a
Okay,
funny one.
part two.
That's a yeah, yes, definitely
That
part
is a
two.
funny. That is
Um,
that is a funny one. That goes into the adventures of our broship.
yes,
Broship
yes,
adventures.
exactly. We'll
Oh,
do that
and
next.
we got to tell the story about the anchors. We got to tell the story about the anchors. But that's
Oh,
okay. We'll leave
we'll
that
do that.
for part two.
Yeah, we'll do that because that's
Oh,
actually pretty
oh.
relevant to our experiences.
Well, I
So,
mean, hanging with the homeboys is also relevant as
oh,
part
of
of
course,
our,
of course.
misadventures, I guess you could say,
Yeah, we have a lot.
or
So,
like our stupidity of being like the polar bears and shit. Not exactly, on the first day of the year, but we used to go out to the beach, you
mm,
know, at like
in
March,
April,
where
March
the
or April,
ocean,
yeah,
ocean was
and it was
freezing.
cold as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh man, it was cold like a motherfucker.
But
And the stupidest thing, we all used to go and jump in that goddamn water.
yep,
You know,
freezing cold,
and
man.
we used to laugh at each other because as fast as we jumped in, we jumped out faster, and it almost looked like at one point, because I think you were the one who took the first plunge, and
Mhm.
led the way. Yeah, it almost looked like you were running on top of water because of how cold it was.
I wanted to get out of there
I
as fast
remember
as
that.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah, but shit, we used to talk on a train ride over there because it was like a 2-hour train ride. Take this train to this stop, then transfer to another train and on to another train. Then somehow we ended up in Brighton Beach and
Mhm.
then walked on the boardwalk there and ended up on the pier at Coney Island gambling on the
Yeah,
pier at Coney Island.
yeah,
We won some
crazy.
money, and then we decided we were going to go into Coney Island and do all the rides and shit. Yeah,
Yep,
we got lots of stories like that.
very much so. So I'm gonna get into shout outs now. All right. Is that
Now
okay with you, my
hold on.
friend?
No, it is not, man,
Oh,
because you want to talk about a movie. What is it? How do you say it? Is it just pure shit or what?
no. Well, yeah, it's a badass flick or just pure shit. And
Well, I
actually,
always remember the pure shit.
yeah, yeah, that was basically your idea right there. So, but
Well, it's just
I
made up
actually
because I couldn't
do
remember what you said, so I called it pure shit.
have, I actually do have a pure shit type movie. Well, not pure shit. I should say very close to pure shit. But
I got a
like
damn
I
good.
said, I think we're gonna go ahead and leave that for next time. And
No, I'll tell you why. No, because I've been keeping my mouth shut to let you say your piece about your death shit that you like. To always talk about notable deaths. And I had one that I wanted to freaking tell you, but I let you say it, and I stayed quiet. And now you're going to have to listen to my badass flick.
okay, fine. Then I'll put it on part two.
If you wish to do so, then that's fine.
Have you ever wanted to make your own podcast? Anchor can help. It's free. The creation tools allow you to record and edit right off your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. It can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from it too, with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need in a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
But here goes the badass flick. Have you ever seen? It's actually a series. Have you ever seen the series Hannibal, bro?
What is it?
I caught your attention, didn't I, motherfucker? Yeah, that's right, Hannibal.
Yeah. Oh,
It's a series.
no, I have not seen that.
No,
Is it based on the movie?
it's based on the first few years of the FBI investigation of Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, that's awesome. I like
See?
that. Silence of the Lambs, I liked.
It's not to sound like I'm a fucking commercial or nothing, but you can find it today on Netflix.
Okay.
And it starts off with some gruesome shit. Right up your alley. Isn't that like what you like to study about?
Yeah, I do. Yep, true crime.
Like serial killers and shit like that?
Yep, I was watching that today.
And I know you have a fascination with death. Bro, it's death all over this motherfucker. I'm telling you, man, you're going to get a hard out watching this one, bro.
Oh, man.
So
now, hey, can I just
it's not a pure shit flick.
Can I just tell the listeners something real quick? You see why I like this guy. You know, him and I, man, we can just go on forever, and he just makes me laugh. You know. So anyway, go on.
Now, it's not a pure shit movie or flick. Mm-hmm. It's not actually even a movie. It's a series. And as a matter of fact, there was a Bond villain who plays in that movie Hannibal Lecter. I mean, not the movie. Casino Royale. You ever seen that one? James Bond flick, Casino Royale.
Mm-hmm.
The weird-looking villain that plays chess.
Right.
He's got like one eye kind of awkward and shit, and he's got like this pale look on his face. Mm-hmm. I have to say he plays a really good villain. I can't see him playing a good guy in any fucking movie, to be honest. He's just got that face, you know. Anyway, he plays Lecter in the series.
Oh, wow.
And damn it, I can't remember the guy's name.
From the movie?
Shit.
Or from the show?
No, from the show, from the series. Black dude, tall. He used to have a gap between his front two teeth, upper teeth. Boys in the Hood. You remember that movie, Boys in the Hood?
Oh, Lawrence Fishburne.
There you go, Lawrence Fishburne.
Mm-hmm.
He's the FBI supervisor.
Oh, okay. Good actor.
Then everybody else, I didn't recognize them, but those are the only two that I recognize. Mm-hmm. It's a damn good show. I've never seen Lawrence Fishburne in a.
Well, there you go. I think people can. People should look that up. Hannibal, the series on Netflix. Yeah.
I know you're going to be looking it up tonight, aren't you?
I probably will. Yes. So.
Well, I'll tell you this. My wife loves these horror type movies and shit, you know. And when I said, "Oh, let's check out Hannibal," I'd never seen that one. I saw Lawrence Fishburne there, and I said, "Oh, you know." Then I read the description. I was like, "Oh, you're gonna like this." And she's like, "Mm-hmm." And then as soon as it starts, you know, some gruesome death type shit, and there she was glued. She didn't go to sleep. She couldn't sleep because she got stuck on it. You know, she got hooked.
Yeah.
You know. And so that same respect, she's like, you know, 15 episodes ahead of me. And she hates it. She hates it when I rewind stuff.
So now she's going to wait 14 episodes for you to catch up.
You know, everything is chronological. You know, with these series, you miss one little thing, you know, it screws up everything. You're left wondering, wait, what happened? Mm-hmm. What happened previously that I missed that it led to this? You know, so I can't have it. I have to go back. I have to watch every little detail of it. You know.
All right.
Hello, Jeffrey.
Hello, Clarice. No. Yeah.
Is that your number 5 you're wearing?
So let me tell you about
check it out, badass flick.
Ooh. Since we're doing that. So you say it's a badass flick, but it's more like
it's really a series.
Badass series.
It's really a series, and it's beyond, you know, binge worthy. It's not binge worthy. You will be binging that motherfucker without even paying attention to it.
Awesome. Good. I'm glad
So if
you.
you got shit to do, I recommend if you got shit to do, don't even try to turn that on. Because as soon as it starts, it's right there from the first minute. It's not like Breaking Bad. You ever seen Breaking Bad?
Yes. Yep. Walter
Breaking
White.
Bad is another
Hmm.
damn show, but it was off to a slow start.
Right.
They had to introduce all the characters and everything else, and their day-to-day lives, and because the whole story was about how shit changed for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So it didn't start getting interesting until like the fifth episode, fourth, fifth episode. Other than that, you were struggling to watch it, and
Hmm.
the only reason why I watched that show
Hmm.
was because I had a customer when I was at the gas station, my mechanic shop, and he said, "Yo, you look like Gus, yo." And I was thinking, this guy trying to punk me or something, who the fuck is Gus? Who the fuck is Gus? It's like, no, it's that show Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad, what the fuck is that? Is that some new youngster slag or some shit? You know? So he told me
Yo, I'm
about it. He
Breaking
said, yo,
Bad, man.
Gus doesn't show up until like the third season, right?
Right.
And when Gus shows up, that's when shit really takes place, where it becomes really interesting. Now, the
Okay.
beginning is a little slow, but you just have to kind of watch it from the beginning so that you can understand about Gus.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, you know. And at the time, I was dating this lady, and I said, this motherfucker. I told her the whole story, just like I said it just now, right? And I said, so I got to watch this shit. So she was a little bored, and she was watching it with me. And then when Gus came out, she busted out laughing. She said, "Oh my God, you do look like him." I was like,
Oh,
"Mother,"
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember what Gus looks like now. Yeah, you do.
but I do. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah, I think you
I don't
resemble.
think so.
Well,
No,
he's
I
a
didn't
little.
think so. I'll tell you though. I'll tell you though who he does remind me of.
Who?
He reminds me of my uncle Carlos, cousin
Oh,
Louis' dad in Lisbon.
okay.
He looks like him,
Yeah, yeah.
but somehow
Well, he's
people
got a
say
little
that
resemblance
I
to
look
you.
like the guy.
But he's got a little
I
resemblance to you,
guess.
or you to him, whatever. 'Cause he's older.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I didn't know, but that
So
was also a badass flick.
yeah.
So
So
tell me your pure shit.
can I get to my pure? Well, it's not. It's really close to pure shit. All right, but it actually had potential. It had potential to be something, and it just never made it there. But it's called 7 Minutes, and I found it. I believe I found it on Prime Video, or no. I found it on IMDb. So I went through Prime, and then somehow got to IMDb. Anyways, so it's not the best film out there, like I said, but it's okay if you want to kill time. You waiting for something, whatever. You're in a plane. You can't do anything but watch movies. That'll be okay. You want to sleep, that kind of thing. But but it's one of those movies. Is it me, or is it movies becoming repetitive?
Yes,
A lot of the
they are.
plots, yeah. So I felt like I've seen this probably
Because in
7
Hollywood,
times
they just
before.
need to
I
keep
mean,
producing stuff, and putting stuff out in order to make the money.
right.
That's all that they do in Hollywood.
They basically just recycle these films, and then they put different actors in it. Yeah, But
Yeah,
so this one had John Ritter's son. Now, John Ritter is a guy who played in Three's Company and Eight Simple
come and knock on my
Rules,
door.
for Dating My Teenage Daughter. He was also in Sling Blade, which was also a good movie, I think.
I gotta say this. John Ritter, he is always going to be Jack to me.
Oh, yeah,
I
for sure,
can't
man. I
see
love
him
that guy.
playing in any other movie.
I
He
love
just
that guy.
doesn't
But
do it for me in any other movie, any other show,
I have
because
to go
he's
back
still
to
Jack.
yeah, I have to go back to death though, because he has passed away.
Oh,
Yes,
poor
you
guy.
did not know that, huh? Yeah, he passed away. I don't know how many years, like a lot of years ago. And I was crushed because I really liked him. I loved Three's Company. That was like one of my favorite shows growing up. Probably my favorite. I don't know. But anyways, his son Jason Ritter is in this movie, and he kind of reminds me a little of him, and so it's kind of cool. But all right, so the movie is about three high school friends, which is kind of fitting for this topic because we're talking to me and you are high school friends. So they decided to commit a bank robbery in their small town of Washington, or in the state of Washington. I forgot what the town was called. But they basically owed these ruthless drug dealers some money, so they didn't know how to get it, and they decided to rob a bank. It goes
Stay
wrong.
away from drugs, people.
Yeah, it goes horribly wrong really quick. And then it leaves you hanging at the end. And I hate those kind of films. It doesn't show you what happens next. So, they could be good films when they end like that, but only if you know enough. You know what I mean? That's one of those.
I always think that, when they leave you hanging like that,
Mm-hmm.
is because they're paving the way for the second one.
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
And I
maybe.
think in reality, most of Hollywood's most popular or most successful shows, and they each movie they make it into a franchise for some reason.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
so
hope they
I
don't do
think
that
that
to
they
this one.
leave these openings in order to be able to continue it. Kind of like, the Bourne Identity. There's always, some mysterious shit like, okay, you're left hanging and wondering.
Yeah, but
All right, so
that was
did
a good
Jason
movie.
Bourne die this time?
That was a good movie, though.
Yeah, that was a badass flick.
Yeah,
That was a badass flick. Yeah,
I would say
I
that
agree.
for sure. And, but this one, it was basically just telling a story, and I think that they ruined it because it opens up with the bank robbery, which is great because that's the most intense part of the film and any crime film. The violence going on, crime, whatever. It's very tense.
Mm-hmm.
Then it cuts away from it, and it uses flashbacks to help us understand who these fools are, right, and how they ended up there.
Uh-huh.
And I like it. It's okay to do that, but they kept doing these flashbacks, and it took away from the intense moment. Every time they would like hit somebody or tell them to open up the vault, whatever, they would cut and say, "Oh, this guy is Jerome, and let's show his story." It's like, no, we don't want to see that motherfucker right now. And then,
Yeah, it's like coming to a screeching halt, huh?
yeah, it was too much of a halt. Yeah, and then apparently, so they decided to rob this bank. Like I said, in their small town. Like, who's not going to recognize your stupid ass with a Jabberwocky white Michael Myers looking mascot, right? I mean, morons.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the process of these flashbacks, it sucks out their energy and intensity that might have been something good, you know what I mean, during that heist. And because I love a good heist movie, Heat. Heat was a very good heist movie.
Heat. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
just thinking about Heat myself.
Yeah. Oh, great movie.
But I mean, Heat. I mean, come on. They had,
Intense battle.
look at the actors.
Yeah. Intense shootout.
Bobby D.
10 minutes. It was crazy. But so if you're going to do that, take away from, going to flashbacks, you have to have a good story, right? To tell in between the flashbacks. And they didn't do that. So basically, I pretty much consider it pure shit. I mean, I'll be nice though, and I'll give it 2 stars out of 5. So there, that's my take. 7 minutes. Go check it out if you want to.
Damn, 2 stars out of 5. Well, you gave it 2 stars out of 5, bro. I don't know if I want to go and see that shit, but I probably will. If it's.
I'm sorry to Jason Ritter. I love his dad, but
well, I guess it didn't make it on Netflix, so I guess
yeah,
exactly.
I can see that. It was like really close to it. It was like IMDb.
But speaking of Heat, which was a badass flick, it got me to thinking about another movie that I saw. It was more of a comedy with Bobby De Niro. And, Bobby De Niro, he typically plays some sort of mobster.
Oh yeah. It's like his best role.
But it gave me an idea. This particular movie just gave me an idea because I like that movie in particular because it originates from New York, and they kind of tell the story, just kind of like what you're saying about 7 minutes, but not like that, right?
Okay.
So every once in a while, it jumps back into New York. Now the story is he just decided he got caught, of course, and he decided he was not going back to prison, and he was going to snitch and go into witness protection, right? So they move him to some place in France, I believe it was,
Okay.
for witness protection. Okay, and what's that guy? Lee Jones, something. Lee Jones.
Oh,
What's his
Tommy
name?
Lee Jones.
That actor. Tommy Lee
I
Jones
love
is in that
Tommy Lee
movie too.
Jones, man.
Mm.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love him.
Yeah, I do too. I
Yeah,
love him in almost all his movies.
yeah.
Now he's also in that movie. Now
That's, I
the
gotta see
thing
it.
is that there's a scene at the there's a scene where the boy that's playing his son is talking to his character daughter,
Mhm.
and he says, Dad has 500 different ways to express the word fuck.
Mhm.
Fuck can mean so many different things. Now, whenever I talk about that to anyone here in Kentucky, they just kind of look at me like I'm stupid. Like, what the hell is he talking about? He's going off about fuck. Is he high? Did he smoke some shit? Maybe he popped some pills or something. But that's something that if you grew up in New York, you understand
Yeah.
the concept of the word fuck and how many
Oh,
different
yeah.
ways it could be used.
It's colorful. It's
You
nice.
know, and it's like in the army, you say hooah, and
Mm-hmm.
hooah can mean everything except no,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it just depends on how you say it,
Right.
the affliction, like hooah, like I didn't understand hooah, or hooah, yes, I got it, hooah, yes, you're right, hooah, let's do it,
Hoo-ah!
stuff like that.
Congratulations.
So, you
Right.
know, with Bobby De Niro, he's got he puts down in that movie, his son brings it up, and that's what made it interesting because it's one of those words that we just never think about. Growing up in New York, how many times did we say fuck to mean a whole slew of different things? But depending
Yeah.
on the context of how we said it,
Mm-hmm.
that should be one of our shows.
Okay. Well, the use of the word fuck, like how many different
In New
ways?
York, how we use the word fuck in New York.
That would be a very explicit show, but okay. We use it enough anyway.
Like fuck, like oh damn, I'm fucked. I screwed up, or
I fucked up. Yeah.
or fuck you. Fighting words. I'm about to fuck you up. I'm gonna fuck you up. That's another fighting word.
Yeah.
Go get the
And
fuck
don't
out
say
of
I'm
here.
gonna,
That's
and don't say
joking
I'm gonna
fuck.
fuck you.
There's so many different ways to use the word fuck.
Yeah, there's a lot of, yep. So on that note, bro, I'm gonna do shout outs.
Okay.
You were supposed to go outs. Outs.
Outs. I'm sorry. Outs.
No, it sounded really good last time though. So I'm gonna say it again. And now it's time for shout outs.
Outs.
I'll move it closer together. No. So
Now hold on before your shout
mhm.
outs. I just looked it up. It's called The Family. It was produced in 2013.
Yes, dude, I fell in love with the daughter in that movie. Yeah, that movie was good.
Yeah, she was pretty good.
Yeah, she was nice.
Yeah.
That movie was good though. I liked it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yep.
Yeah, The Family. Yep. I should have known that too. Really.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to give a shout out, just one, or one bundle, to my cousins again who lost their mother, and Anna, Maria, Roger Jr., and Desenia. All of them, I wish them nothing but much love, and I'm thinking about them, and I know it's hard, and I'm thinking about my own mom, passing sometimes. I don't want that to happen, but we all know we got to go. We all got to go sometimes. So, but stay strong, and condolences on the loss of your mom. She's an angel with wings now. So no more pain, no more suffering. So rest in peace. And
if I may,
go ahead.
I just wanted to say to your cousins and your uncle, don't think of it as a loss. but think of it as she's moved on to a better place. She's in a better place right now, and she's still looking down on you guys and still being the pillar of strength that she's always been for the family.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that.
My
Yeah, I'm
condolences
sure.
to all of you. And, don't mourn her death, but rather celebrate her life.
Yep, good one there. All right. I think that's going to do it for us this week, man. That was fun. Peace.
Peace, guys.